It's April the 24th, 2024, and I hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. It is a beautiful day here in South Carolina today. The weather is just perfect. There's not a cloud in the sky. The sun is shining. It's just beautiful. The weather is perfect. I plan on spending most of my day today outside. I just have to be outside for this. We've had some kind of crappy weather around here the past couple weeks. It's just been on and off, either cold or rainy or just not great, but today is just beautiful, and I am definitely going to spend today outside and soak all this in, I'll tell you that much. I want to start off today's video and just say thank you so much to everybody for all the kind things that everybody said in yesterday's video. You guys just hopped into the comment section and just said so much positive stuff. I was pretty down yesterday. It bothered me pretty bad, and after the video posted up, you guys just hopped on there and just really cheered me up, and I can't thank you guys enough for being so nice. It really did make my day. And then I got up this morning and there were over 200 comments in yesterday's video. You guys are just amazing. And everything was just so positive. Everybody was just so encouraging. Everybody was just so nice, and I cannot thank you guys enough for being so kind in yesterday's video and just helping me through that. I've talked about this, but this is, I talk about addiction and alcoholism and all that kind of stuff, but I also talk about my personal life and my journey and what I'm going through. And one of the reasons that I share these things with you guys is because I feel like, there's probably somebody else out there who's going through the same thing, and I want them to know that they're not alone. I would imagine, and after reading the comments, obviously I'm not alone. A lot of people said they have encountered the same exact things. And not just that, but I really do consider all of you my friends. Although I've never met any of you in person, I've been talking with you guys for so long now, and every single day, and you guys are just so nice. You jump in the comments every single video. You guys watch all the videos. It's just, I can't thank you guys enough for being so awesome. And I really do consider you guys my friends. I would not share this information with you guys if I didn't consider everybody here to be friends of mine. It's really odd that I feel so comfortable talking with you guys about these types of things. These are things I don't even discuss with people that I'm close to. It's something I might talk about with my wife. But as far as I've got, a couple people maybe I might discuss stuff like this with, but not very many. We're talking about maybe two. And for me to be able to come on here and feel comfortable enough to share my feelings and my thoughts and my experiences with you guys, I just can't tell you how much that means to me to be able to do that. It really is something very special, and I'm so grateful to have all of you here. On another note, we got my appointment to have my blood work redone. I still have not heard anything from the hospital yet, but my wife did get in touch with my GI doctor. I'm going tomorrow morning to have my labs done, and my GI doctor wanted me to come to his office on Friday, but it's just not going to work out because we have too much stuff going on, my kids and their games and everything that day. So we're going next week, and my wife's actually gonna take off and go with me to that appointment. She wants to be there with me when we hear the results of what's going on with that. You just never know what those blood tests are gonna look like. Although the imaging, look pretty good. There's just no telling what the blood work's gonna look like, and that's what we need to find out. So I'm going to have a blood work drawn tomorrow morning. I'm just going to I'm not going to name the name of the place, but I'm just going to, it's actually here local in town. I'm going to go there and I'm sure you guys have had blood work done. It's a big corporate laboratory. But I'm going over there to have my labs done, and then I'm going to go speak with him next week. I'm not exactly sure what day yet, but we're going to go see him next week. So I'll be letting you guys know exactly what's going on with my blood work and everything. Heck, I might even post it on here, just let you guys see it. Um, Other than that, though, the subject for today's video, really pertains to the video from yesterday. And after replying to the comments and all that kind of stuff, and so many people sharing their stories and experiences they've had with this and all that kind of stuff, I just thought that I would talk about something today that I have found to be very important on my sobriety journey. And I'm sure for a lot of you guys it's the same thing. If not, let me know. But I just want to share how I feel about this, because I think it's very important when we do get sober, that we start to find out who we actually really are as people. So many years I was masking who I really was. I wasn't who I really was as a person. I was pretending to be somebody else. I thought that person that I was pretending to be was who I really wanted to be. And at the end of the day, that's not who I wanted to be. But it took some time, and it took getting sober in order for me to realize that, and to realize that that person that I was portraying is not a nice person. I for some reason had this immature outlook on life. Like, people looked up to that kind of behavior. People thought it was cool or something like that, I guess you would say. I was very, I wouldn't say I was very aggressive, but I was very quick to say things to people, quick to jump on people. I was very reactive, very defensive. And that's just not who I am as a person. I've talked about this, but I'm really a really quiet person. I don't like to stir up trouble. I prefer to, just keep to myself. Sorry, that's my blood glucose monitor that's going off right now. It's wanting to let me know that my blood sugar's low. But, the thing is that I've really done a lot of self-discovery on this journey. And, when I was a kid, I was who I was. But as I got older, I just started pretending like I was somebody else. And then as I got into my drinking, I guess that more or less started to concrete in. And, the alcohol allowed me to do things that I never would have done in my real life. I never would have snapped on people the way that I did. I never would have said a bunch of the things that I said to people. I never would have acted the way that I did. I never would have done a lot of the dumb things that I did. Because I pulled a lot of stunts. I did a lot of really crazy things. I put my life on the line a bunch of times. I don't know if I've ever really talked about this before, but I used to ride motorcycles. I actually sold my last motorcycle. I've had motorcycles my whole entire life. I sold my last bike about 2 years ago. It was right after I'd gotten sick. I sold my motorcycle. But I would go out, pop wheelies, and, I used to ride those really fast crotch rockets, and I've had all kinds of different bikes. I've probably had 20 different bikes in my lifetime. But the majority of the motorcycles I have are crotch rockets. I would go out, go 140 miles an hour, 150 miles an hour every single time I would head out. I just did really, really stupid things on my motorcycle. I guess I felt like that doing those types of things and being the type of person that took a lot of risk was something that people looked up to. And that's just not the case. If anything, I just looked stupid. And now looking back on it, thinking about all the things I did, all the times that I potentially could have lost my life doing just reckless stuff. It really does make me cringe to think about that now. There's been times I've woken up in the middle of the night and let's say I was having a dream about something that I did in the past. I'll wake up in cold sweats, and I just don't know what in the world was going through my head. And at the end of the day, I guess what was going through my head was the alcohol was flowing through my head and was making me think that kind of stuff was okay to do, and it's just not. But my point to all this is that I think one of the most important things that we can do for ourselves on this journey is self-discovery, because we do tend to become other people when we drink. Now, I've said this before, but I think that alcoholics and addicts are some of the nicest, some of the smartest people out there, and I think a lot of us have just been run over by life, and we use substances as a way to cover that up and to mask our feelings and to get that numbness because we didn't want to have those feelings anymore. I think a lot of us have been hurt really bad. I know I have. And, I think it's a self-defense mechanism that we put up a lot of times. We portray this image of, being a really hard individual or somebody that, doesn't put up with much and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I've got my camera attached to this umbrella right now and it keeps blowing around. I was trying to get the level up because where I usually sit, I'm trying to get these videos done earlier now. And where I usually sit, the sun is just shining right in my face right there. And the way I had the camera set up yesterday was kind of pointing up at me, so I was trying to get the camera up. So I've got it attached to this pole. Every time the wind blows, it keeps turning it. But anyway, back to what I was saying, I just think a lot of us have been hurt really bad in our lives, and that might not be the case for everybody, but I think a lot of us have. I think a lot of us have a lot of trauma, and we masked it with either drugs or alcohol. And that self-discovery after sobriety is so clarifying. And I think just letting the natural process happen and not pushing back against that, I think is very important to do. Because I think that once we get back to ground level and really get back to grasp on my blood sugar again, guys, sorry. But once we get a grasp on who we are as individuals, I think it's so detrimental to our sobriety. Because like I said, for so many years, I was portraying somebody that wasn't. Majority of my life, I was portraying somebody that was not. I started drinking at an early age, and, I got sick when I was 42 years old. And, being a teenager up until then, I was pretending to be somebody else that I really wasn't. And I had to go back. We're talking years that I had to go back and, really start figuring out who I am. And that took some time. And it wasn't a very comfortable feeling a lot of times. Really starting to set back into who I was. It took a little bit, I pushed back against that a little bit. And I didn't want to accept it in the beginning. But over time, I've accepted it. And it feels really good to be back at square one and knowing who I actually really am. That's the point of today's video. I just think it's so important for us to actually let the natural process happen, to lean back in our chair and just let it happen. Let that person come back to who we are, because when we remove that substance, our mind starts to clear up, and we start getting back to who we really are as an individual. And I think that we start to discover that when we're young. I can look at my children, for instance, and I can see the difference in them. Each one of them has their own personality, and it started, when they were very young. And I'm watching it happen to them now, especially with my boys. My youngest is 10, and my oldest is 13. And I'm just watching them develop and become their own certain people. And it's a really cool thing to watch. And on top of it, rediscovering who I am, having empathy, sympathy, and just an overall understanding of love, how important love actually really is, how important family is. There's just so many things that I didn't accept. Like I said, I just really pushed against that. I didn't want to accept those things. I didn't want that to happen. I guess my defense mechanisms were up, and I just didn't want to become the real person that I was, because I felt like somebody was probably going to hurt me. And now that I don't drink anymore, I can sit back into that and allow it to happen. And if people don't like me for who I am, that's completely okay now. I think I've really had a really hard problem with rejection for so long. I wanted everybody to accept me for who I was. And I think a lot of times, too, that uh, depending on the situation and what kind of environment I was around or what kind of people I was around, I would tend to morph into what those people wanted me to be. Um, it's really hard for me to describe that, but the only way I could really say it that would make any sense is like, let's say I was hanging around with a bunch of people that were surfers, for instance. Then I guess I would be a surfer for that period of time and have that lingo with them and pretend that I was that individual when I wasn't. Um, I guess you could say like a poser for so many years is what I did. I posed as someone else. I portrayed this other image of who I really was not. And the sobriety has allowed me to be okay with me and to be okay with who I am as a person and to accept who I really am. And that's taken me my whole life to get to this point to now. And I couldn't be happier with being able to accept who I really am and accept my feelings, my emotions, my thoughts, and to be okay with the fact that I am a very emotional person and very sensitive, and it's okay to be that. For so long, I thought that being sensitive and emotional and stuff like that was being soft and not being a strong man. And I think that's totally opposite from that. I think that now, being sober and being able to accept who I am and to allow that natural process to happen, and when I do feel emotional or sensitive or my feelings get hurt, to be able to express that and not worry about the judgment that comes along with it, because it's just who I am. If people don't like that person, then that's okay. I don't need to be around those people then. And that's why I talk with you guys every single day, because I know that you guys know who I am. I think you guys can see it. I'm a very sensitive person. I get my feelings hurt very easily. I care a lot about people, and for so long I pretended like I didn't. There was this image that I portrayed, like I didn't care about other people, because I thought that's what like strong guys did. I guess it's just this idea that we get from television or something, from movies, from television shows, books, just society in general gives us this idea that a strong man, a manly man is this way. Well, I just don't feel like that's the case. And I think that now, looking back and being where I am now, I think that being any type of person is just accepting who you are and sitting in your emotions and being able to accept it, because that's one of the things that was so hard for me to do for so long, was to be able to sit in my emotions. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be alone with myself. And I think that's another thing too that's very important for our sobriety, is to be able to be comfortable being alone. I have spent so much time alone since I've gotten sick. I was always at work, and I don't work right now. I do a lot of stuff around the farm and stuff like that, but I'm alone a lot, and it's given me a lot of time. I guess in the most simple way I could say it is to kind of meditate, even though I'm not meditating, but I've done so much self-reflection, and I think that's another really important part of this process, is self-reflection, and to sit back and think about the things that we've done, to ask forgiveness for those things, to reach out to the people that we've hurt, and to finally be okay with that. And I think that once we finally accept who we really are as individuals, and we're okay with who we are, and to be okay with our emotions and our feelings, I think that's when we finally can move on to the next chapter in life. And I feel like I'm finally starting to get there. like I said, I just felt like it was important to talk about this today because I just want everybody to know that it's okay to be who you are. And I want you to feel comfortable with who you are. We're all individuals. We're all different. What I like, you might not like. But I think there comes a point where we have to, even though we might not like what somebody else likes or whatever, to accept that and to show interest in it. I'm just going to use this for example, but like last night, my son came in the bedroom. My wife was helping my oldest son do his homework, and my youngest son came in the bedroom. I was laying down to go to bed, and my youngest son came in, and he goes, "Dad, I want to watch some TV with you." And I said, "Okay." And for some reason, my son has gotten into axes. I don't know what the deal is with it, but he really is into Vikings and axes. He bought an axe not too long ago, and then he bought another axe. Now, we don't let him use his axes unless somebody's there with him, but he's got this thing now. He wants to have axes, and he just thinks axes are like the coolest thing in the world. Chopping down trees with axes, chopping up logs. It's just something that he is all about axes and Vikings for some reason. I don't know why. Do I like axes? I could care less about an axe. I know what they do. They chop a tree. You can use them to chop trees down. You can use them to split logs. But, I mean, it's not something that I could care about. I mean, an axe is an axe to me. But last night when he came in the room and asked if we could watch that, I almost told him no. And I almost said, "I'm watching something right now, buddy. I'm going to keep watching what I'm watching." But you know what I did? I stopped what I was doing and I turned on a show on YouTube that was all about axes. And we laid there and watched this show. And I gotta say, it was actually really interesting. The guy that was doing the video, and I'll link it if you guys want to check it out. The guy is really into axes himself. And he's an older guy. He's probably about my age. And, man, he knows a lot about them. But my point is that I laid there with him and watched that show that I did not want to watch, but because I wanted to show him that I could show interest in something that I had no interest in, and that I wanted to show interest because I love him. And, selfish me, the drinker me, would have never done that. But I can see gradually as I've stopped drinking how much more mature I've gotten, and how much more mature my thoughts have gotten, and how much more well thought out everything in my life has become. I don't make everything about me anymore, because I did for so long. Everything was about me. If it didn't affect me in a positive way or do something for me, I wasn't getting involved in it. And that was every aspect of my life. If it didn't have to do with me, then I didn't want anything to do with it. But that's not the case now. And to be able to lay there in the bed and watch a 45-minute video about axes with my son is something I had absolutely no interest in. It was a life-changing moment for me to sit there and realize that I could actually do that. Because, one, if I was drunk, I never would have. But two, now I can actually concentrate on others, my children, trying to help people, doing whatever, and it's just not about me anymore. More, if anything, I've put myself more to the side, and I've focused on other things other than myself so much more than I ever did in my entire life, and it feels so much better to be that way. Because I was a narcissist for so long. And looking back on it now, that's just not a good way to live. It's just not. I get so much more satisfaction out of my life now than I ever did when it was all about me. I guess my whole point to all this is, guys, is that it's okay to be who you are. It's okay. We all have flaws. We all have all kinds of things. We're all different. But I really do think that we can actually really find ourselves after we've stopped using whatever the substance is. And who we are is okay. And I love you for whoever you are. You're special, just who you are. And, you know, we all are special. And I don't know. Like I said, it's just one of those things. I can just tell that I've just matured so much in this very short period of time. It's just amazing that removing the addictive substance from our life can take us this whole other level. And it was like yesterday, and I'm going to get off here in just a second, guys, but it's just like yesterday, you know, I had to think about what I was going through, but I actually thought it through. The old me, the drinker me, probably would have snapped and said something really ugly, but instead, I let it go. I didn't get defensive. I just got off the phone, moved on with my life, and really did a lot of self-reflection and thought about, why is this happening? Why is this person being this way? Read all of your comments, took all of you guys' great advice in and your words of encouragement, the things that you said that this person might be doing. I just took all that in and wrapped it all into one big package and said, okay, this is what it is, and I'm just going to move on with my life, and there's nothing I can do to change it. You know, it's just like the old saying of, you know, you accept the things in life that you cannot change, and you work on the things that you can. And that's one of the things. I can't change that person's mentality, but I can change me, and I can work on me. And it's all about my reaction. That's one of the things I've talked about my wife about at length, is that everything in this life is about reaction. And, you know, I can't help if things upset me sometimes. Things might really make me angry or upset me, but I have the choice on how I react to them now. Before, when I was a drinker, I didn't think things through. I just reacted. But now, before I react, I think. And I have that choice in my hand. I can either react this way or I can react this way. And I choose the high ground, and I choose to act like an adult now, opposed to acting like a child and throwing a temper tantrum and breaking something and punching a hole in the wall or whatever it may have been, because that's the kind of stuff that I used to do. And, you know, I don't do those types of things anymore. I just, I let things happen the way they do, and I choose not to argue. I choose not to go down that path. Because at the end of the day, it's all about pride. And I can put my pride, I think that's the most important thing I can take away from all of this, is that now I can actually put my pride to the side so that I can allow things to work out better for everyone. Because all I want to do is just have peace and love in my life and positivity. And that's all I care to have anymore. Peace, love, and positivity in my life. And if other people don't want to be that way with me, then I just need to just move on. And, maybe one day they'll change their mind too. And we can go back to being who we were before. But until then, I got to protect my peace, my love, and my positivity. And I hope that you guys can too. Because I'll tell you, love is, it's all we have is love. At the end of the day, all we have really is love. And I really do understand what love is now since I've gotten sober. It's something I never would have ever completely understood without it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. We're almost 30 minutes. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I know I was just kind of just talking and rambling on, but just, like I said, I just think it's a very important part of our sobriety. And I don't think until we get sober that can we really, really, truly discover who we really are as individuals. God made each and every single one of us different. And that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. If everybody was the same, this sure would be a boring world, I'll tell you that much. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here for today. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Sorry about the camera moving around. I'm not going to set it up like that ever again. But Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off of here. Like I said, I'm gonna have my blood work done tomorrow, and I'll have my results next week, and I'll touch base with you guys on that. There will be the live video on Saturday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and then on Sunday we'll be doing the Talk with My Wife again. I think I'm gonna do my cooking video tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. But other than that, guys, I think that's it. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for all the words of encouragement yesterday and all the positivity that you guys sent me. I can't thank you guys enough. And with that said, I love each and every single one of you more than you will ever know. I really do. And with that said, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.